I'm John Shumway outside the Kmart in Pleasant Hills, one of the few remaining in our town. It just seems like every few months we hear more are closing. And recently the McMurray store had to close. In fact, it's only been a couple of weeks. And on the day it closed, Joshua Englert, who is the manager of that store, did a final announcement. You know how you always hear, "Attention Kmart shoppers," and they'll tell you what the current specials are. Well, Josh always had kind of a flair doing that in the many stores, the many Kmart stores where he worked in, and he worked in several here in the Pittsburgh area. And he liked to have fun with it. So on the final day for his final Attention Kmart shoppers announcement, he decided not to play around with it. He was going to write it out. So he sat down and he actually typed out what he wanted to say. And as he typed it out, he realized that this was probably going to be a little more emotional than he realized. And he wondered if he was going to be able to get through it. Well, he did. He got through it. And when he did it, he recorded it on his phone. And when he recorded it on his phone, he posted it on a Facebook page. Well, you can imagine, it has kind of caught fire across the country. I guess the term may be overused saying it's gone viral, but it certainly is getting a lot of attention. And so we sat down with him today and talked about it. Talked about the video, how it came about, talked about his career at Kmart. And I think what comes through from this more than anything else is that when we hear the stories on the news about Kmart's and Sears closing, or Toys R Us closing, or Babies R Us closing, whatever the case may be, most of us think of it's another retail place that's going out of business. It's run out of business by the online shopping. But the fact is, yes, all that is true. And when I talked to Josh today about his story, he talked about the online shopping and whether he was resentful of that. But he also talked very much about the personal side of this. He worked for Kmart for 18 years, met his wife at a Kmart, and it is a very personal story. And it's interesting to hear him talk about his fellow employees and their reactions and what they did after the store closed. So you're going to hear his story as we kind of personalize the diminishing profile of big box stores and how it affects the people who are involved, who now, no matter where they are and what stage in their life, they now have to start over and try and find something else. And there's kind of an interesting twist on that score too for Josh, and he'll tell you about it. Stories coming up on KDKA-TV News at 5 o'clock. It's one of those that you'll remember. I hope you'll join me. I'll see you then.